problem, the main problem with burns, and keep this in mind, the main problem with burns is that respiratory acidosis is a huge problem. So we monitor their labs. We do ABGs on these patients about every 6 to 12 hours. Okay, it just depends on how severe. This guy here would get every 6, but keep this handy because you're gonna be giving probably a lot of sodium bicarb. We give a lot of that. Okay. All right.
So you typically want them in alkalosis?
Do what now?
You said so you do typically want them in alkalosis?
You want them back into that normal parameter because they will get out of whack quick. They really will. So remember that burn patients tend to be on the respiratory acidosis side, okay? So let me ask you this. Based on what you're looking at right here, obviously he was burned, okay? But look at this for just a moment. You see all of this, and you know it's severe. Then you look down here at this little guy, where it's this really bad spot. What might you think it might be?
Zone of injury.
It is a zone of injury, but what do you think may have happened to him?
Electrocution?
Wild guess. Electrocution? Yeah. Because we don't know what happened. We just know that the house is on fire. We found him outside down. You're thinking, okay, well, probably the house caught on fire. He was trying to get out. You could think, well, he could have been sleeping with a heater. It has turned a little chillier outside, right? It was kind of cool last night. So you start trying to think what may have happened. So we would put him, of course, he's going to be on a cardiac monitor when he comes in, okay? But if you notice some funky rhythms, and you know what I mean, like feeling, you know, bigeminy, y'all know what bigeminy is?
Yeah.
Or he's doing a lot of PVCs. That might come to mind that may be the issue. Then, not only do we have all of this to worry about, but you know, electrical burns hurt you more on the inside than they do the outside. They call it the great masquerader because you can look perfectly normal out here, but if you had electrical current go through, it's really bad because you have to worry about cardiac, especially cardiac. I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, I know what I'll tell you. So in the diuretic phase, that's the second phase, right? Everything goes out during the first one. About 48 to 72 hours later, everything starts shifting back in. Okay, what is a lab that we really need to pay attention to? BNP, CBP, what else? There's one particular. Potassium is one. Because we have to worry about this, right? Either way, we're going to have to worry about it whether you're in phase 1 or phase 2. Potassium is just not good either way, high or low. And what would it be in the first phase?
High.
High. Because everything shifts out, everything contracts up, and it's looking like it's ridiculously high. What might we give him if it's high?
Sodium bicarb.
Kayexalate.
Oh, okay.
Or what else might you give to get it back into the cell?
Sodium bicarb gets it back into the cell too. Insulin.
Insulin does.
Sorry,
That's okay.
That's what I meant.
Insulin does. So we may end up on an insulin drip. We may do some Kayexalate. As you can see, he's got a poop tube. Anybody ever seen a poop tube before?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
You have not. Okay. Here's the criteria for poop tubes. If they've got a solid poo, it's not going to work. It's got to be liquidy. Okay? Even if it's pasty, it may not go through. He'll leak out and he'll leak all around your bed. They sometimes still leak though, but they do help. So, Kayexalate, we may give him some Kayexalate. He is, and look, here's the cool thing. You can put that Kayexalate right here. That'll be like an enema for him. So you can put your Kayexalate right here, and it'll cause him to poop. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
All the way back there.
Purple port. Green port is where you blow up his little bulb. Have y'all seen the bulb before?
I think you
Showed it to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull it out.
So this will
But
get
it's a
even-
bulb that blows up like this. It's about that big on the inside.
So is it
like a catheter?
But it's much bigger.
So this isn't too far away that the fluid wouldn't.
It would go in
would
there
go.
because it's a see if you look, it's a little teeny tiny thing there.
Okay.
It'll go up in
Okay.
there. Teeny tiny, but it can go up in there.
Okay.
When they're getting this much fluid, are they gonna
Actually, no.
Yeah, it helps.
That's how it's spread.
A lot of times they will keep it out in the third space. Y'all, these patients go from looking like us, just normal, to where they're so swollen they're almost unrecognizable at times. Because the family will come in, you have to tell them, you know, they're in this phase here, and you know, fluid shifts out, and they're going to be really puffy. You know, just give the family heads up when they come to see them. But when that fluid shifts back down, our labs also alter, right? I want y'all to know about the labs, definitely. You need to know your lab values. You definitely need to know your lab values. You need to know your lab values at this point in the ball game anyway. But like your potassium, your chloride, your normal hematocrits, things like that. Remember the test question that I had for you on there where the patient, you know, had been so many hours post-burn. What lab values would you expect to see? You're going to see that again, okay? Let's see, something else I wanted to tell y'all. You think about so many things. Okay, well, this is what I'm trying to get to. So when you have a burn and everything's shifting back in, okay, we need to make sure we monitor that hematocrit and that BUN. Why? Because those kidneys have had somewhat of an insult to them because everything's shifted out. There's a burn. They're like, well, what the hell's going on? Okay, so when fluid, we're watching that hematocrit, and that hematocrit is steadily climbing. What's normal hematocrit? Do y'all know? I mean, not hematocrit, but creatinine is what I'm trying to say. Creatinine. God, hematocrit's creatinine.
0.7 to 1.4.
Okay. In my head, it's 0.6 to 1.2.